Good evening here on Tuesday, August 19th. I'm Brett Smith, part of the Touchdown Talk, College Football Edition. Little name change there. We'll see how it goes. Today, I want to bring you another video. I have the underrated SEC teams to watch for this season. Some you may be like, hey, well, they're not underrated. They may be, but at the same time, you got the top tier. You got Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Texas, all four of those. And then you have that second tier that may be able to reach that SEC championship game depending on how they fare on the road, at home, um, and their roster this year. So I want to start off with, I guess, the first team, and that is Missouri. Missouri's win total is 7.5 for the year. Their schedule, their non-conference is pretty favorable. I don't see them losing a game in non-conference. If it is, it may be Kansas, but Kansas is at home this year. Um, but then their at-home SEC schedule consists of teams like Bama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. Those are three winnable games at home this year if this team comes together. And I think they can get their Mississippi State on the road, their other teams. I think that they could have a 9-3 year again. I don't know what it is about Missouri, and as much as I hate to say it, Drink knows what he's doing there. He attacked the portal well, but he also has returning production as well. He brought in Bo Prabula from Penn State. I would imagine week one starter, the rest of the season as well. Ahmad Hardy, the running back, he's going to be top 2 running back in the SEC, right up there with Le'Veon Moss. The production there is insane. I mean, he's going to have 1,000 yards, maybe more. They're going to get the ball to him if it's not a passing type of game, if that's just not how it flows. And then they brought in Kevin Coleman out of the portal. Not Luther Burden caliber, but they have guys. It's a universal wide receiver core where he kind of highlights it, and then there's other wide receiver 2 and 3s. Defensive side, you've got Nick Deloach, Jalen Catalon. You have a lot of guys that are experienced in the SEC or other power conferences, big teams. So I think that win total at 7.5 is a little low. I would take their over. But I would expect just to be able to watch for them this season, surprise a few teams too, maybe in that case. Moving on to number 2, this may not be a surprise, but it also may be Texas A&M. Another win total, depending on what you use, is 7.5 or 8.5. They're a team that's going to be stout defensively. You know that. Offense, I think they'll be pretty good as well. I mean, you got guys like Marcel Reed, Le'Veon Moss, probably the SEC leading rusher if I had to guess and put money on it. And then they brought in Mario Craver, wide receiver transfer from Mississippi State, original 4-star, but he didn't get too much with Mississippi State last year because nobody really did. I expect him to have a big year. I think their offense will take a step in the right direction with Marcel Reed in year 2, playing full SEC, playing the full year, but having a second go around of the SEC. I mean, their schedule, they have Auburn, Florida, South Carolina at home, 3 main big games there. But then they have Notre Dame, Texas, LSU on the road. I think they go over this win total, and I think they get one of those games on the road. Now, if you ask me which one it could be, that's a little tough. I would imagine LSU's a night game. Both teams I'm pretty high on this year. Texas, I mean, as they are, but big rivalry game. You know, last year was kind of a boring game, but it mattered. I mean, It was for the SEC championship. Whoever won that was going there. I mean, A&M could be back in that same exact boat this year. They could also get revenge on Notre Dame. And, defense stepped up last year whenever offense wasn't really there for them. So that is something to keep an eye on, is if their offense can be the one to lead the charge in a game where maybe their defense isn't all there. But when you have Tarian York back, the defensive leader, I mean, he is the captain of that team. And so I expect with him kind of manning the defense, I think they'll be all right this year. Lastly, the third team is Oklahoma. I know a few people probably have it that same thing too, but their win total 7.5. I can see them going over it. Their schedule, they have Michigan week 2 at home. Week 2 or 3, I'm sorry, one of the two though. They have Michigan, Auburn, Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU, all at home. I mean, you cannot ask for those opponents for it to be better for them. I mean, having them at home is huge this year. Where games at Auburn, I mean, Jackson Arnold returning, that's going to be a big game. Ole Miss, last year, you played them up until the fourth quarter. Didn't win it, but still. Missouri came down to a fumble recovery touchdown. And then LSU, you didn't play them well in Baton Rouge. That's going to be a tough one, but I think, with how this team is this year, it's possible. But then you have at Bama, Tennessee, and South Carolina. If you can get one of those games, you could be looking at a 9-3, 10-2 year. And 2 conference losses is going to put you right up there in that top 4. And it may even, depending on if you can sneak out a game or 2, can get Tennessee and South Carolina on the road, then you have a chance to actually be fighting for that SEC championship spot. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We have 2 weeks. But I mean, you have on the offensive side, you have John Mateer bringing in the top quarterback in the transfer portal. I expect him to have a really big year. Jaden Ott, you brought him in as well. I think, and with Deion Burks too at wide receiver, I think that's just another weapon for John Mateer to have that will give them kind of the boost that they didn't have last year. They didn't really have just a guy to throw to because all 5 of their wide receivers were hurt. John Mateer has options this year. I mean, he has Isaiah Satania too from Arkansas. I expect them offensive-wise to not be lackluster how they were last year. Last year was tough. I mean, they had to win games 21-14, maybe even uglier. It all just depends on the QB play. And Brent Venables, I think he knows he's kind of on a hot seat this year. If he doesn't produce here in year 3, 4, it all is just a blur now. But with Oklahoma, they know what they need to do this year. And I think they'll rise above the expectations that they have or that people have placed on them. And so I expect them to be a dark horse team to watch out for. I expect them to be fun to watch this year. But it all just depends on John Mateer. Straight up. I mean, because you have Jaden Ott, and if the passing game's not working, you could rely on some of that. But how much is he going to win you ball games? He's not as much as the quarterback is. So decision making is a big thing. But as for that, that is the 3 teams that I have this year that could make some noise in the SEC and give those top teams some trouble. Maybe shake things up a little bit. We have week 0 this year. Or this week, I'm sorry, coming up in a few days. I'll have a video out on that, on my previews of the games and the best bets. I've got a few already placed that I like a lot. And so that'll be in a video coming up, hopefully later this week at some point. I'll record it soon. Um, but as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know who you guys want to hear next down below. If you want a team that wants to be previewed, give a prediction on, switch it up from the SEC. I mean, I'm talking all college football. So, yeah, as for that, thank you guys, and I will talk to y'all later.